Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of The Edge on IAC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You may find us on television, channel 182, on Charter Communications and Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Got a podcast. We're making a few changes, so we don't have it going on right now, but it will be very, very soon. We're really excited about that as well. I have my friend Doug McGee with me, and he's with Second Chance Animal Shelter. They're located in Boaz. You're also located in Crossville. You're located everywhere. I mean, these guys are located like right smack dab in the middle of all of three different counties, I think.
That's right, close to Etowah, Marshall, and DeKalb, right within walking distance, actually, of all three counties.
Well, lucky me, you're actually in DeKalb County. So, which worked out for me with it because I took the Master Gardener's class through Auburn University, and we had to do some volunteer work. And I said, oh my goodness, I'd love to work with Doug and Wanda, but I think they're in Marshall County. And then I called Wanda or talked to Wanda, and she said, no, we're in DeKalb. Come on.
Yeah, we're close. And actually, years ago, this family's farm was in both counties, but now the family sold some land, so now it's all in DeKalb.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. You know, we were talking a show a few weeks ago, a couple of months ago maybe, and this is about the shot that could actually change the world and dynamics on how dogs are being fixed. A lot less pain, a lot easier on the animal.
A whole lot.
Information about that?
Yeah, we went to our veterinarian. I got the information mailed by one veterinarian who doesn't do surgeries at all, and I can't remember the name of the drug, but it starts with a Z. But anyways, an injectable shot. It's for neutering male dogs, and I can't imagine it's not catching on. I know in other areas of the country it is, but the veterinarian that we went and talked to about it was not familiar with it. And the reason being, when he goes to continuing education, he's going for, like if he has a veterinary practice tailored towards accidents or fixing bones, his continuing education goes, so he doesn't get the new updates on spays and neuters and reproductive stuff. So, but it's an injection, two injections, neuters a dog for life. Side effects are, so far I haven't heard of any side effects. I mean, it says very minimal, no downtime. The dog doesn't have to be put to sleep. And by that, I don't mean euthanized. I mean sedated. Mm-hmm. They said virtually painless. It's just I can't imagine. And the cost, I don't know how to put this gently, but the cost is $1. Well, originally the cost of $1 per testicle is how it was done. But now I think for less than $25, they can take them in. It's a 10-minute procedure, dogs in, dogs out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I can't believe. Now, I think in other areas of the country, it's becoming catching on a lot more. Other countries, like England and places like that, it's becoming a lot more popular. But that, to me, would be awesome.
So that's the first. As soon as Buddy was old enough, we had Buddy fixed. And he had a little bit of pain. I mean, it wasn't really, really bad, but I'd like to know he didn't have any pain and no discomfort.
Well, I read an article, I got information sent to me by a veterinarian, and he was saying that things said like 2% of the dogs showed any sign of discomfort when they were getting the injection. Mm-hmm. I mean, because apparently it's a very small needle. I'm not sure what gauge. I can't remember what gauge it was, but it just is one of those things that, and I know there may be resistance on veterinary organizations because of the low cost. You know, the veterinarians, I mean, they're good hearts, everything else, but you know, it's a business. And if you're making $150 for a regular neuter and $25 for the injectable neuter, you know, from a business standpoint, I don't know. And there may be resistance from these organizations because they don't want, I mean, the veterinarian has to make money. And if that cuts into the funds, I don't know how, I just don't know. You know, I hate to think that the world's ruled by money, but I'm pretty convinced it is.
Unfortunately, it is.
Yes, I see that. So I don't know, but I would really like to pursue that and find a veterinarian. A veterinarian has to be certified to give this injection because there is, I mean, you have to do it right. Joe Schmo or whatever can't go out and give his dog these shots. It has to be done by a veterinarian, done correctly.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, if it does, it's got like a 99% effective rate, and the side effects are less. Everything is just it's a win-win if we can get that kind of going.
Yeah, I wish we could. We just need to get that word out. Now, there's a veterinarian, and I had some information on him. It's somewhere on my desk. I don't know where exactly it is, but he does everything natural. He's somewhere in this area. I think he's somewhere in DeKalb County.
In High Falls, I'm almost positive it's High Falls. Dr. G is the veterinarian, and we work with him a lot. He's a really good. I mean, he got a lot of information of holistic kind of cures and stuff.
Mm-hmm. I bet he'd be interested in doing it. I mean, because he seems to be about the animal big time.
Yeah, and I don't know though if there's I don't know. It'd have to be one of those have to find out if he would. I don't think he does surgeries at all, so I really don't know where. We have to figure that one out. Go talk to him and find out. But I mean, I would let. He's actually the one that sent the information because I asked him. We got talking about it, but I don't know if he does spaying, neutering, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. So. But if he looks at everything on the holistic side, I think that's a pretty good sign.
Oh, absolutely. Because there are so many cures for even animals. Like I think a lot of his animals are old with arthritis and inflammation and things. And there's a lot of cures for that you can, that are natural. I mean, so many that, I know somebody gave their dogs, and it was recommended by a veterinarian. It wasn't Motrin. It was anti-inflammatory because their dog had arthritis. So they treat it just like we do people, and like the fish oil and stuff. I think that dogs respond well to that. Why take them to a vet and buy a $100 prescription and put them through all this whatever when there's a natural cure for so many things? Mm-hmm. And I wish more vets were like that.
Well, I don't know if you've noticed. I don't know if you've noticed I'm not coughing as much as I used to, because I have asthma. And so I have found a recipe, and I just had a show on it the other day, and it's homemade decongestant. And you use raw honey and lemon juice, radishes, red onion, and garlic. And you put these ingredients together and put them in your blender. And it only keeps about 2 weeks because it's an all natural thing. So I've been taking this every day, and I'm not coughing.
I don't mean to smile on that because, I mean, I do. My grandmother had her homemade cough syrup, and it had honey, lemon juice, and whiskey. Now, it was, and I can remember, we went to church every Sunday when I was growing up. My grandmother had this little flask. I don't know who got it, but that church that flask went to church with her on Sundays, and we used to joke about it because you might get a cough at church or whatever. And not that my grandmother was any kind of.
You can't get drunk off of that. The people who talk about that are the people who'll take NyQuil. Look at the ingredients on NyQuil. Mm-hmm. I mean, it has alcohol in it. I mean, it's pretty potent too. It's like 30% or something like that. It's ridiculous how much it has in there. So don't send me messages about that, guys. So, but anyway, this doesn't have it for the people that, are Southern Baptist. You're not going to get drunk off of this for sure. But
I never noticed my grandmother coughing. I mean, she must have taken that cough medicine all the time because I never heard her cough.
Yeah. And she lived out in the country probably. Like we do. That's just a hazard of living out in the country. You're out in the open. You breathe in fresh air. You breathe in everything too. If somebody has been burning trash or something, I'm breathing that in as well. So that's the only thing I don't like about living out in the country. But everything else I love. But if we do better with homemade remedies of stuff, and it's all natural, like ginger is great for you. Ginger. And so I try to sneak some of this stuff into Buddy and Greenlee's food.
So ginger, and what's of course, blueberries, they say, are just a natural I mean, they're just very good for you. Certainly, and I think we've lost a lot of that. So many foods are processed now and all this. I think that as a world, we really need to get back to some of it for our treatment and our health as well as the animals' health.
I'm uncovering it. I'm doing search, and I'm uncovering all this stuff. Did you know that you can make tea from the leaves of a blueberry tree?
No, I wonder how it tastes.
It turns out good. It kind of tastes like green tea, but now the leaves can't be green. The leaves need to start turning red. Like right now is the perfect time of the year. Just as they're starting, just parts of the leaves starts turning red. That's where all the antioxidants are. So I've been making tea out of blueberry leaves.
Yeah, see, and once again, they got animals. I mean, everybody worries about their animals. You know, okay, a dog eating roadkill. I've seen them do it a million times. Mom always said, if your body's craving something, there's something that you need. So if you crave chocolate, you need to eat it because your body needs.
Oh, I crave chocolate all the time, Doug.
There must be something you need in it. Now there has to be a limit, but you know, dogs, I think if the same way. I mean, they eat things that don't eat that. You can't let them eat this, but they'll eat it. And I just don't know. I don't know. I'd love to know a lot more about the holistic approach to treating animals and animal diets, because I think just like us, I think we could benefit from one thing. Somebody said Guinness beer was a good cure for heartworms. Mm-hmm. Right now we have 42 dogs at our shelter with heartworms, and that's an expensive treatment. It's very hard on them. We have to take them, get injections and all this. And you start reading these old cures, and they say give them so much Guinness beer, and that'll prevent heartworms. I'm not sure I want to try that, but where did that start, and why Guinness? Because it always says Guinness. I've looked at it online, but why certain types of beer are supposed to be good for prevention of heartworms? And in the South, I mean, I don't know. But once again, is that real, or is that just a made up legend? Who knows?
Well, I'll tell you something. We feed our dog Buddy and our cat Greenlee every month, once a month, right at the very first of the month. I feed them just a touch of ivermectin, and I know it's for horses. And I'll tell you, COVID, people were taking ivermectin when they had COVID. I know it's made for horses, and I took a lot of joking about that. People were saying, when are you going to start neighing? You know, because I took and I'd say, shut up, I'm healthy and you're not. So anyway,
let's give me carry you to the barn. Jump on my back.
Yeah, I got those jokes. I got reeled about that a lot. But what I do is I give Greenlee and Buddy just a bit, because that whole tube is for a horse. I mean, they're big. So just a little bit. I'm talking not even a quarter of a teaspoon. And I give Greenlee more like an eighth of a teaspoon. Just a drop, just that size of a pea. For us,
you can buy the heartworm preventative in the pills and all, and that's $18 a month, pretty much. It's for times 300. That's a lot of money. Ivermectin, we've used it forever. And it takes so little. Normally, it's 1/10 of 1 cc per 100 pounds. So, I mean, that's not much. So, if you got a 40-pound dog, 4/10, just a tiny drop. And we've done that for years. And when we get a dog in, now we have to be careful, because if a dog already has heartworms, it can hurt them. But if they don't have heartworms, that's a great way we prevent heartworms. Go through and just shoot it down their mouth, be done with it. I mean, it's just a cheap, for a shelter especially. Some people, once again, the veterinary world, some of them say, oh, don't do that, it's bad on their organs. But I don't know. I think heartworms are worse on their organs than.
I think so too. And it's bad on their pocketbook if you're not buying their high-priced stuff.
That's it.
But now you can get the store brand as well. At Tractor Supply has a store brand. And Buddy he can taste it a little, because he's picky. He can detect medicine real easy. He never detects this. So what I do is I mix it in with his food and he eats it.
One thing though, if you got to be careful, and before I did that, I would research it. There's one for swine and one for horses. You don't want to get the one for swine. We've been told that by veterinarians. The one for swine has a different chemical makeup. For horses, and we use it. I mean, that's something that we've gone through, and when a dog every month, try to give them that monthly heartworm preventive. Heartworms in the South are so prominent. I mean, like I said, 42 dogs out of 278 dogs have heartworms. We treat them, they recover, everything's great. But dogs in the South, especially Alabama, Mississippi, it seems like heartworms are just. prominent. And if you
Well,
ever
I'm
go
glad
to
you're
the stuff,
because Buddy really is, he's a lot healthier. Doug, we went past the break. We're going to have to go into a commercial break. We'll be right back in just a minute. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
We're back from the commercial break. Thank you so much for watching The Edge. My name is Donna. I am your host, and you can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications and Abundant Television, which is syndicated all over the country. You can find us there, even in the world. So you can find us on Apple and Amazon Fire as well. So we're Roku. Don't forget Roku. But anyway, it's just a good way to see us, and on all the social media sites. I mean, I'm on Facebook, all of them, YouTube, what have you. So we're on those. Doug McGee is with me, and he's with Second Chance Animal Shelter. Doug, let's talk about the world of volunteers. Could you guys use some volunteers right now?
Volunteers are, in the past, they've been the icing on the cake. But then you get, every now and then, we'll get some that stick around, and they become part of the cake. We've got half a dozen volunteers that come on a regular basis. And one lady comes 3 nights a week, works from normally 5 to 9:30, cleaning kennels. And I'll never see her. I saw her last night. Every now and then you'll run, because she's coming in when we're going home. Mm-hmm. And she loves it. I mean, I tell her thank you every time I see her, but you never see her because she likes working by herself. She loves to clean, and that's what she does. She goes from kennel to kennel. She's by herself most of the time. And she'll come in when you see her, and she's covered in sweat. But that's what she did. That's her volunteer thing. So probably 14 hours a week, she's here cleaning kennels, and she loves it. We have other volunteers.
Yeah, but I got to say something. Real quick. She has to have the safest job ever. Nobody would ever come in and attack her with all those dogs.
No, yeah, she's safe. And she's been doing it for several years now. And she's like the quiet volunteer that really makes a difference. And then we have one man that comes in and takes hundreds of pictures over the years, thousands over the years, pictures of dogs, and does a lot of the work on our Facebook page. We have volunteers come every day that help clean. We had a tree that fell down on the fence, and we actually was going to hire a company to clean it. A volunteer, a guy shows up and had a chainsaw, and he come out and he volunteered and cut the tree down. I mean, so that cost saved us money, which we greatly appreciate. And he likes using the chainsaw. If you like animals, but don't just want to be right in there with them, cleaning kennels and all that, don't let that deter you from coming out. You came out and fixed our rose garden and worked on the plants. Everything, it's like a farm, and there's a whole lot more to do here than just taking care of dogs. So yes, if you want to come volunteer, and don't worry. I mean, we've got a certain number of employees. We always have to have a certain number of employees just to keep a base. So you won't be replacing a person's job or anything like that, but you can supplement it and make a big difference. Right now, we got a floor that I'm sitting on that's got soft. I don't know why, but there's a soft spot. I could do it, but I'm not much of a carpenter. So maybe we'll find a volunteer that can come out and help us put a floor in. We buy the materials, they do the work. It benefits. I mean, it's just a charitable. I mean, we need volunteers. Excuse me. I want to talk about one more thing. Several years ago, about 3 years ago, I started collecting aluminum cans, and I figured out that there's 32 cans in a pound of cans. So every aluminum can is worth about a penny and a half. Mm-hmm. So every time we took them, we get bags of cans, we'd take them up. Right now we're at 34,000 cans that we've taken in the last few years. And I got to thinking, how about what would 1 million cans? If we collected 1 million cans, it would be $15,000. And of course, it's not all coming in at one time. So I was talking to a lady, and she came up with a program. We want to call it Green Steps for Shelter Pets, and asking people to save their aluminum cans. There's a difference in aluminum and tin. Excuse me, I need some of your medicine. But anyways,
I can find it.
And our goal, and it's going to be long term. I don't want to have to go out and pick up a bag of aluminum cans for people much, but the goal is 1 million cans. And at the end of that, we'll think of what we would have done for the environment, for Mother Earth, which is the ultimate shelter for all of us, is Earth, the planet. So we've done good for the planet. We've also got some over the process raised $15,000 for animals, for the shelter pets. And like I said, if it takes 10 years, that's okay. But I'm tracking all of our aluminum cans now, and I want to shoot for 1 million cans. So if anybody has a social organization, church or whatever, and they want to save aluminum cans, we'll take them. We'll haul them to the recycling lot. And I just think it'd be a neat, before I die, I would like to think somehow we're responsible for 1 million cans being recycled, and in the process make $15,000 for the shelter.
I think that's an awesome idea. So, folks, you heard that. You heard it. So, if your church or organization would like to help in any way, just get in contact with Doug. And
get in touch with us, and we can help. And once again, now the logistics of it, you don't want to drive 40 miles to get a Walmart bag full of cans. You got to think fuel and all that, but why not? And if you're going to throw it away anyways, just put it aside, collect it, bring it up here when you're by. And I just love to see if we could do it. Right now, we're 3.4% of the things, 34,000 based on 32 cans per pound. I just think it was just, I don't know, just one of those crazy ideas. And her name was perfect. It's called Green Steps for Shelter Pets. And she lives over in Jackson County, Langston, and she's kind of wanting to get this started. We'll kick it off officially. I just think it would be a neat thing to do. Why not? Mother Earth needs a little help clean up, and people in Alabama tend to throw a lot of cans on the side of the road. So, let's not throw them on the side of the road. Let's get them recycled and benefit the shelter and the planet.
Now, what about tin cans? Does it have to be aluminum cans?
Well, we'll take tin cans too. We have to separate them, and they're a lot different. They would sell at the same price that steel does. So tin is normally $8 for 100 pounds. So it's not going to be. Well, hey, if we get them, we'll go through them. We'll probably got a little can smasher. So some of these people doing community service, something may smash them down. But tin cans, which is what would come in normally soup and vegetables and stuff like that, comes in tin cans. If we get them, we'll deal with it, but we really want to focus on aluminum. More money.
Aluminum would be better.
Oh, yeah.
Smash them down. And it'd be really neat, too, if people would just go ahead and just smash them and then put them in a bag for you guys.
Absolutely. It makes a lot less space. We've got a good storage place, and what we do, whenever we get a van load, we run them up there. And the last load was $185 and some change. So, and aluminum is down right now price-wise, so they would have been better had it been back up to the 50 cents a pound. So, hey, I'm just throwing that out there. If you go out in your garage today and see 10 bags of aluminum cans that you just, whatever, hey, we'll take them. We'll take them, store them, we'll haul them to the scrapyard and benefit everything.
Now, are you guys going to have any kind of an auction or anything like that? Do you have any items that you'd like to start auctioning off? You looking at that?
We are. We actually, we're going to open a thrift store, and the money involved in getting started was just too much. We couldn't do it. Found a great location, so we're going to do an online marketplace, all that kind of stuff. We're just starting. The goal is by the 21st of this month, because people bring things here all the time. Say, hey, I've got this. This morning, somebody brought a small refrigerator, and we'll use that for medications and all. But people bring us things all the time, and we appreciate their generosity and we take it. But sometimes it's like, well, we really don't have a place for this right now or can't use it, so it gets kind of put aside. And we want to start moving some of that stuff. We have a yard sale, normally one yard sale a year, and a lot of times people bring stuff now, and we have to store it and have the yard sale. But we want to do an online marketplace to start moving some of our donated items. Honestly,
great idea. Doug, we're going to have to go. Can you believe 30 minutes just went zoom by?
It flies. It really does.
Doug.
Time flies when you're having fun. Every time I do this, I'm going, no, there's no way that's been 30 minutes. There's no way. And
it's gone with the wind. But thank you, Doug, so much for everything you and Wanda do for the community. We definitely appreciate it.
Hey, let's keep it going. Let's make it better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you, Doug. And thank you guys also for watching The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications and Abundance Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Everybody have a great, great day. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio. We're your source for news and entertainment. You can find us on television, channel 182, on Charter Communications and Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Before we get started, I wanted to thank Applebee's for coming back. They left for a little brief period of time. They decided they couldn't live without us, so they came back. So go out to your local Applebee's and enjoy those salads. They got some really good deals out there as well. I have with me special guest AP Steadham, always a special guest. He's been with us for several years. A lot of you have sent a lot of messages to AP Steadham about this weekend's ball games. What say you, AP?
Yeah, Don, it was interesting. You know, we followed a lot of teams, but primarily the trio of Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee. And it really was a mixed bag, even though one team was victorious, but the win was kind of interesting because there's unsettled quarterback position at Alabama. And then Tennessee would travel down to the swamp in Florida, which they haven't won since 2003. And they continued that unfortunate situation by losing 29-16 to the Gators. And then Auburn, they had the homecoming in Sanford, and they won big. But all three teams had varying degrees of success. I will start off with Tennessee. I know a lot of people up in North Alabama, there's a lot of Tennessee fans, quite a few, but they couldn't stop the run. HEN had 172 yards for Florida. That was his career high. And so if you have a porous run defense, more than likely your offense is on the sideline watching, and then that doesn't give you a chance to get in rhythm with your passing game. So Tennessee's passing game right now is subpar, Donna, with Joe Milton III. I mean, I knew that he wasn't going to be as good as Hendon Hooker, the quarterback the previous 2 years at Tennessee, but I thought he would play better. And he's from Pahokee, Florida, so I know the game meant a great deal to him. But they were upset by the Gators down there in the swamp, and Billy Napier, another signature win for him. He started his career last year beating Utah at home, and then he didn't have a good season, and he stumbled this year at Utah. So a lot of people thought that Tennessee would win this game, even though it hadn't happened since 2003. But the Florida Gators prevailed. They had the big run game quarterback for them. Graham Mertz, a transfer from Wisconsin, played fine. He didn't have a lot of yards, about 160 or so. But Tennessee's offense sputtered, and that was good defense by Florida. And so the Volunteers, they have to regroup and get in rhythm with their passing game if they're going to be effective the rest of the season. They couldn't run the ball either, Don. They weren't successful in that area as well. So both passing and running on the offensive side, they didn't have a good night in those areas.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. Yeah, they seemed a little tired to me. But most of the response has been, oh, I thought they were going to really don't give up on your team yet. That's all I can say, because we're still early in the season.
Yeah.
A lot of things can happen.
A lot of football to be played, of course. Yeah, there's 9 games. Most teams have 9 games remaining. So, and that was the first game Tennessee they played in conference games. So it's just starting in the conference. So yeah, you can't give up after one game. Yeah, you have to be a better fan than retreating after one game, Donna. Yeah.
Stop it, guys. Just stop it. Okay, now the trio you just talked about, I know one lost 2-1. So, but who actually played the best game of the three?
Well, right. Auburn, Sanford doesn't have the roster that Auburn does, an SEC type of roster. So they had a big score, and the quarterback had 100 yards rushing and 200 yards throwing. That hasn't happened in a while. Those are big numbers from the quarterback position. Peyton Thorne, the transfer from Michigan State for Auburn. So that was good that he got rhythm with his passing game, and he's healthier now, Donna, and he can run. He's fairly effective as a runner. Last year, I guess he was hurt. He couldn't show that skill. But so Auburn, they're trying to get better with their offense, especially in their passing game, because they're going to need it down the road as they face these tougher teams that stop the run. So Auburn won their homecoming game against Sanford. That score, let me see if I got the score down. It's 45-13. Yeah, 45-13. So yeah, Auburn played better, but they were playing a lesser opponent. Let's say, nothing against Sanford, but they're just not as good. Alabama, on the other hand, they stumbled and won the game 17-3. South Florida was, they had the rabid fans there. It was pretty loud in the stadium, about 60,000 people. I was covering that game, and they just have trouble at that quarterback position right now. Donna, they went with Tyler Buckner started the game, the transfer from Notre Dame, and then he was benched when there was a turnover, and they brought in Ty Simpson, the third string quarterback. So he did a little bit better, had a nice pass down the field to the tight end, the transfer from Maryland, number 81. And Alabama's defense played well. They had a 100-yard runner, but their passing game, Donna, I've never seen them look this bad throwing the football. Just didn't have any rhythm at all. And I mean, that's passing rhythm. It's like dancing. If you're out of step, Donna, yeah, you're doing the steps, but it doesn't look good.
That's right.
Same with the passing. You might complete a pass.
So let's talk about
yeah.
just a little bit more about Alabama, because I was concerned because that first quarter and the second quarter as well, I didn't know what in the world was going to happen. So how did they finally come through? What happened?
They had a turnover, Donna. So that gave them the ball close to the goal line. They were able to score. I think that was a fumble. I believe that was a fumble by the South Florida team. And then they had a drive, and I think it was 3-3 at halftime. So everybody was amazed that South Florida was staying even with Alabama. They were outplaying them, actually. More enthusiasm, and it was a big home game for them to have a SEC team visit Tampa and Raymond James Stadium. So, but and South Florida's defense pressured the quarterback. Down to 6 sacks by University of South Florida. That cannot happen in future games if Alabama is going to be successful against these SEC teams. Their quarterback's going to get beat up, Donna. Won't survive the game. He'll probably get hurt. So the offensive line, quarterback, a lot to be desired from those two positions for Alabama.
Mm-hmm. What did that do to Alabama in the polls?
Yeah, they're about number 12. They dropped a couple. I think they're about 12 or so, 12 or 13, some of the polls. Mm-hmm. So the polls is the least of the worries right now for Alabama, Don. Yes. They have to write this offensive line and find somebody who can play quarterback. It's been announced that Jalen Milroe, who did not play in the game, he was the starter of the first couple of ball games. He will be the starter this week against Ole Miss. And Ole Miss, we know, can score a lot of points with Lane Kiffin and company. He's a good play caller, has a talented quarterback, Jackson Dart, the transfer from USC. This is his second season under Lane Kiffin's system at Ole Miss. They have good receivers, have Quinshawn Judkins, the best running back one of the best running backs in the conference. He's from Alabama, Pike Road, near Montgomery. So he's been a slow starter this season. Don. Last year he had 1,500 yards, which was phenomenal as a freshman or even a senior. But he's not had as much success this season. But Alabama better be ready, because they're going to get everyone's best shot, and especially Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss. They're coming to Tuscaloosa.
We talked a bit Auburn, a bit Alabama. Let's talk Tennessee. It seems like that most of our responses were from Tennessee fans. Yeah. And it was a disappointment. But again, this is still a long season, so a lot of things can happen. What do they need to work on next week?
Yeah, Tennessee, Don, if I heard your question correctly, they're playing University of Texas San Antonio, which is a good football team. They had a quarterback there, been there 6-7 years, with those rules when they had the COVID and everything, you're able to play more years. But I don't know if he played last weekend. They lost, I believe, but they just better watch out, because they're a good football team. They were ranked last season. And so I don't know if that quarterback's coming back, but Tennessee, there's a lot of improvement that needs to be done by the entire offense and the quarterback, especially to improve that passing game, because they have good runners too. Tennessee has some good runners as well. And the offensive line, they don't have as many veterans this year, Donna. So that's a key factor that determines it's a function of your offense. You can play well if your offensive line is blocking, protecting the quarterback, opening holes for your running back, so you have some balance, and the defense does not know if you're going to run or pass. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure the coaches, after this loss, they've got the attention of the team now.
Mm-hmm. Let's stay in the SEC, and let's talk about Georgia, our friends out to the east, to the west.
Yeah, Georgia, South Carolina came to town. They were fired up. Spencer Rattler had a good ball game. They were up 14-3, the Gamecocks in Athens. And then Georgia had to come all the way back to win 24-14. But it was a competitive game. Last year, I think that score was 48-7. Mm-hmm. So the Gamecocks were getting better. And Georgia, this was really one of their first tests to play an SEC team. And they had to come from behind double digits. To their credit, they did. But I think Georgia probably this season, the games will be closer in the scoreboard now this year.
Yes, because now they have a record of how they won, and of course, other teams are going to look at at last year's game so they can know what to plan for. What did this do to Georgia in the rankings?
Yeah, they're still number one, Donna. Georgia's the team to beat in the conference and across the country. So they play tough defense usually, and like I said, they only gave up 14 points. Yeah. So that's pretty good in this day and age of high-powered offenses.
So let's talk about the top 5 in the rankings right now.
Yeah, Donna, I don't have that in front of me, but Georgia, Michigan, Texas is up there, and I think Ohio State, and I'm trying to think of the 5th team. It might be USC. Might be USC. But those are the 5 teams undefeated at the moment, and they're near the top. Penn State is a good football team, I think, this year. Penn State, Donna, if they can they need to beat one of the 2 teams, Michigan and Ohio State, and continue to win the other games in the Big Ten. But Penn State's a team to watch out for nationally, I think, because they have a chance to be very good. They have an excellent quarterback, two fine running backs for sure. But in the SEC, LSU made a good comeback, beating Mississippi State in Starkville 41-14, put up 40 points. That was impressive against that defense. And Jaden Daniels had a big game, their quarterback, LSU. So he's in the hunt for the Heisman as well. But yeah, I don't have those rankings in front of me. Like I said, I think that's the 5 teams at the top right now.
Yeah, it's no problem. Let's go into a commercial break. We're going to be right back in just a few minutes. Everybody hang in there. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for 2 or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers.
Wow, it's so soft and smooth.
It's cool to the touch. How did you do that? Well, we took MyPillow's patented fill and combined it with this new technology that we didn't have back then when I invented MyPillow to bring you the best pillow in history, MyPillow 2.0. Because of all of you, MyPillow 2.0 has been a huge success. And now we're bringing you our best-selling Go Anywhere MyPillows with the same temperature regulating technology. Made with my patented adjustable fill and brand new cooling fabric, they're truly the next generation of MyPillow. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save over 60% on our MyPillow 2.0 4-pack special. You'll get 2 MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows, regular $259.92, now only $99.98. King size just $10 more. This is a limited time offer, so please order now.
The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
Okay, we're back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You may find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, and we're syndicated on Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. A lot of you have said how easy it seems to be easier to go into Roku rather than Apple. We don't care how you find us. You can also find us on all social media sites as well. I have AP set with me right now, and let's talk about, as we see it with AP and Kelly, what happened last week.
Hey, yeah, thank you for bringing up our show, Donna. We're on IC Radio every Friday, Football Friday, 4 p.m. Central, AP and Kelly, as we see it. And we discuss the SEC, of course, and the other teams around the country as well, and various sports as we move into the basketball as well. But yeah, we have fun on the show, Donna, different guests. And last week I had a Richard Johnson, and he's a writer for Sports Illustrated covering the college football national scene. So we had that conversation. This week we're going to have Max Starks, and Max was a big offensive lineman, 6'8", played for the University of Florida, and he's going to be actually at the game down to the Arkansas at LSU. So we're going to discuss that game plus other teams in the SEC. So yeah, I look forward to that interview. AP and Kelly, as we see it every Football Friday on IC Radio at 4 p.m. And then we're also on the Spotify and other platforms and around the, we're heard in 5 states: Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, Mississippi. So yeah, we really enjoy the show, and thank you so much for having us on IC Radio every Friday, 4 p.m. Central.
Got a lot of fans who watch you out there too. Okay, so let's get outside of the SEC conference and let's talk about some of the other teams that are out there. Who are you really looking at? Who are your eyes on?
Well, I think this game is kind of big for Lane Kiffin down at Ole Miss. I mean, because I think he needs to beat somebody substantial like Alabama, even though Alabama's not as good as they've been in the past. But to go on the road into Tuscaloosa and win that game, that would be big for his program, I think, because he's won games at Ole Miss, but I think he needs to beat an Alabama or a Georgia or a Tennessee or LSU, something like that, the top teams in the conference. So I think that's big. I think Kentucky's the team you want to watch down the road. You know, they have Devin Leary. They had some warm-up games here now, so they're going to be getting into the schedule. I'm trying to look at their schedule right off. Yeah, they're going to be playing Vanderbilt in Nashville. And Nashville, you know, is a popular place for those Kentucky people. They just come south to fill up the stands there in Nashville. But Vanderbilt had a disappointing loss, I would say, against UNLV out in Las Vegas, 40-37. Usually Vanderbilt, they can win those types of games, and they need to reach 6 to become bowl eligible. So that was disappointing for them. I would say also Missouri. Let's bring up Missouri down. A 61-yard record-setting field goal to beat Kansas State. Kansas State's a ranked team. They were probably around between 10 and 12, something like that. You know, they played in the Sugar Bowl last year, the Big 12 champion. And they're bitter rivals from the Big 12 when they were the Big 12. Missouri and Kansas State, they're bordering states. So that was huge to win that game for Missouri. It was 30-27 on that 61-yard field goal. They stormed the field. It was outstanding for Eli Drinkwitz. He needed a signature win, and that really helped his program, I think. So maybe Missouri, we got to keep an eye on them, Donna. The next game they face is Memphis in St. Louis. So they got to keep that positive attitude, and remember, all these teams can beat you. You know, don't have any letdown. But so Missouri, you got to keep it going. You know, to win that ball game against Memphis and St. Louis. Looking at the other teams, I'm trying to look at the best game that we have not spoke about yet. I think we've covered the best games. You know, Texas A&M played Louisiana Monroe, so they had a big victory, 47-3, and then. Let me see. We did Missouri, Mississippi State had that wasn't a good game for Mississippi State, Donna, to lose 41-14. It wasn't competitive against LSU. I thought they would play much better. They have some issues now, Donna. Will Rogers was in that air raid type offense through his career. You know, he's thrown for 10, 12,000 yards. I think he was 11 of 28. So he's not in a groove in this new system with the quarterback who the coach who replaced Mike Leach, Zach Arnett. So Mississippi State, they've got some ironing out of that offense. They actually traveled to South Carolina to take on the Gamecocks in Columbia. So, so that's, you know, I don't know what's going to happen there. You know, it's funny because two schools down in the SEC, both their town is Columbia, right? Columbia, South Carolina, Columbia, Missouri. So that's kind of interesting, you know. But but that's a big game for South Carolina and Mississippi State, but they're both coming off losses. You know, South Carolina's playing a little bit better right now. But Auburn goes to Texas A&M. That's going to be a tough game for them. Alabama, like I say, plays Ole Miss at home. That'll be difficult. They got to stop that offense. Arkansas goes to Baton Rouge, coming off that loss. Yeah, we haven't talked about Arkansas, Donna. They lost to BYU. BYU, they were 38-31. That's too many points to surrender and have a chance to win. They didn't have their running back, Rocket Sanders, but they still should have won that game at home. Gave up 38 points. I mean, they need to play better on that side of the ball to continue and have a chance to win in the SEC. And then Kentucky, I say, goes to Vanderbilt. Georgia plays UAB in Athens. Yeah. And then Florida hosts Charlotte in Gainesville. So those are some of the upcoming games this week in the SEC.
Okay, who was the kicker of the week?
Oh, yeah, it has to be the Missouri kicker, 61-yard field goal.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, a record-setting. I mean, Donna, kickers, and we mentioned them quite a bit, Donna, but they could have a record where they're making every single field goal, but it's that day. How do you kick that day? And you can have made 15 straight, and if he has a field goal kicker, but how are you kicking the ball that day? That's what matters in that moment. Yeah.
You know, I did a little bit of a history search on the Alabama game and the opposing team, their coach. And he's got quite a story. I can't think of his name right now.
Donna, who was the team and the coach? You said I didn't quite hear.
The opposing team from Alabama, Florida.
One more time.
Yeah, Alabama's opposing team this past week.
Oh, last week. Okay, last week's coach. Yeah, he was at Tennessee,
Uh-huh.
right?
No,
Yeah, he was. Well, often. No.
well, he may have been, but I'm talking about his roots, where he came from.
Oh,
Um,
the coach of South Florida.
yeah, I think
Well,
he's an
well, tell me
upcoming
about him,
coach.
Donna.
He's an upcoming
Yeah.
coach. So, and I was looking at the power of this guy with the players on the sidelines. Then I heard the story about his parents are actually from Russia, and
Oh,
so
okay.
they come to America. They have him working really, really hard. They started the business, had him working in the business when he was a kid. And
Right.
so this guy is one ambitious, hardworking guy. And
Yeah.
so he's not a hard guy on the field to his players, but they really respect him. Almost makes me think of a younger coach, Paul Bear Bryant.
Yeah, he's a younger coach, and he came down and trying to build the program in South Florida. They're going to have a new facility at some point. Donna, I've had a chance to speak to the director of athletics for University of South Florida, Michael Kelly. I know Michael for a long time, so they're quite thrilled with the situation. They were able to raise the money, and they're going to be building that on-site, on-campus facility, stadium.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's just his demeanor I thought was very professional, caring. I think he's a very caring coach.
oh
And
yeah,
it, I don't know, it just kind of stuck out with me. I just thought,
yeah.
I didn't think they were going to win. They came really close, though.
They did. Oh, his teams
And
played exceptionally hard, I thought.
hmm
Yeah,
yep,
exceptionally hard, and they made some mistakes here and there, but I like the way their enthusiasm and the way they tackled, and when you have 6 sacks against Alabama,
that's something.
somebody's playing hard and coaching hard, and you're getting some good players. Yeah,
Absolutely. So, who are you going to be looking at next week? We got about 2 minutes left in this segment.
yeah. Then I'm going to be covering that Arkansas LSU, and I look for LSU to continue their winning ways. I believe. I don't think they'll have a letdown. They're going to be at home. I'm looking at that Alabama game versus Ole Miss. Will they have enough offense, not only in this game, but throughout the season, Donna? Because normally Alabama's scoring in the last 10 years, between 35 and 48 points they're averaging. I don't know about this team offensively. I'm not sure they're going to average 35 points over the course of the season. So that's a big game for them. I think Texas A&M and Auburn, that's huge for both schools because Hugh Freeze, it's his first year trying to establish the program. Jimbo Fisher's been there a while, huge contract. We know the number, $75 million. I think it's actually more, when they extended it. So Auburn has a chance to go in there, play fast and loose, and upset the Aggies. But Aggies' offense is playing much better under Bobby Petrino. But defensively, that's a question mark. So Auburn will have a chance, but they have to have good quarterback play and ball security and no turnovers. And so, but those are some of the games that I think I'll be keeping my eye on.
So,
Those
which team of the ones you just mentioned, which team has the most to lose if they lose? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yes. I would say, LSU, I mean, they wouldn't want to lose to Arkansas. Arkansas lost to BYU 38-31, and LSU already has a loss to Florida State. So that would be huge if they lost. Yeah. At
So,
home.
AP, we're going to have to call it a day. Just talk a little bit more about AP and Kelly as we see it and how folks can find you.
Yeah, 4 p.m. on IC Radio every football Friday. And you can also find us on Spotify and some of those other applications. And then check my Facebook and our show's Facebook. I always give the schedule around Thursday, Friday, Saturday, around the state and everywhere. So we really appreciate it. IC Radio, 4 p.m., football Friday.
Thank you so much. AP, always great to have you.
Hey, thank you, Donna. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you guys for watching. I know you could be doing anything else, but watching us, and we definitely appreciate that. You take care. We'll see you a little bit later.
Twilight Monument in Boaz is your hometown dealer, and they'll be there for you when you need them, just as they've done for hundreds of families over the past 37 years. You can depend on Jerry and Maxine Battles at Twilight Monument Company.